Hello, everyone, and welcome to What's Up Inland Empire. I've got a very special guest today, and she is a local from Redlands, and she is a mindset coach. She's actually my mindset coach, so I was so excited to bring her out. She has just so much experience in helping and healing people, and today we're going to talk to her a little bit about life, and I'm sure she has a lot of great information to give us and tips to just make our days a little bit better. How are you doing, Elise DeHart?
Hey, I am so honored to be here, Jessica. I always love working with you, so anything I can do to just work here and be with you, I'm just like always super elated about. So thank you so much for asking me to be here with you.
You're the sweetest. Thank you. Thank you. So do you want to give everybody just a little bit of a background about how you became a mindset coach?
How I became a mindset coach. So that is, I think just like everybody in humanity has experienced something that has been just caused them like an astronomical amount of pain and just having to move through that in life. And so, yeah, a lot of that was like childhood bullying and, a lot of like, the normal stuff of like failed relationships and the same patterns in relationships and being like, what the F is happening with my life? Mm-hmm. So I got into coaching because I started going to a life coach myself. And I started noticing that the stuff she was giving me was actually helping. And I actually had no faith that it was going to work. I was a major skeptic.
Okay.
And I noticed that I started feeling significantly better. And once the ball really started going with my healing, I noticed that the beliefs that I was carrying around with me since I was 12 years old, literally 12 years old, maybe even younger, that I used as self-identifiers just disappeared.
Wow.
And I was feeling significantly lighter. The relationships in my life started to change. My finances started to change. My trajectory in life changed. I literally just, as one of my clients said, who watched me from day one, that I reinvented myself. And I'm just like, I need to share this with people. I need to share this magic of healing with people. And that's how I ended up becoming a mindset coach.
That is amazing. So you actually are coming from a background of personal experience.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Lots of personal experience and a lot of learning got me here.
That's amazing. And so can you explain to everybody what a mindset life coach is?
So, and this is where we have to be a little bit careful with coaching because it's a very unregulated industry, meaning that there's you don't go to college for it. There are certifications you can get, but you don't need one. Literally, You can wake up one day, be like, I'm a mindset coach, and just get into it.
Okay.
So basically what mindset coaching, can you repeat the question? My brain went off.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So what is a mindset life coach? So what is that? But I do want to point out that you're saying that it's not regulated.
It's not regulated.
So anybody can say that they are one.
Yes.
But it's really, I guess it's probably finding somebody that has references.
Yes.
And that they can say, hey, look what I'm doing. Look what I've done for others.
Yes.
And so I am I'm endorsing Elise for sure because, some days are not, that easy. And
a mindset coach is essentially that. It's a friend that you can go to that has very realistic advice, good advice. Essentially, this is a person. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is a person that you go to like to feel significantly better. People who have been there before, been there, done that, learned from it, and can help guide you through this. So that's essentially what a mindset coach does. We're essentially just teachers and guides because we've been there, done that.
And you have that perspective of the outside of the box. Sometimes we get stuck in our box and we don't see anything else. And so you're actually, able to say, hey, let's look outside the box. What can, so you have a lot of different points of view. So I love that. I do
Thank
really,
you.
Appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. So let's talk about the benefits of hiring or working with a mindset coach.
So like you pointed out, we get stuck in our own box. So we get stuck in the same thought patterns. And when we get stuck in those same neural pathways, those same thought patterns, the same chemicals in our brain keep getting released. So essentially, we're just stuck on this hamster wheel. So when you bring on a life coach, when you bring in somebody who is able to help you disrupt the pattern, not break the pattern, but disrupt it, kind of like disrupting the matrix in your own brain. Okay. You're really able to take like a few steps back out of that hamster wheel that your brain is caught in and see a whole new picture. And that alone can really help just start to change the thought process that goes on in your own brain.
Right. Yeah, that's so true. I like that. The hamster wheel,
Yeah,
right?
we all have
They're
patterns.
just going, and you
Yeah.
just keep going. And a lot of times too, it's hard to recognize them, but even when you do recognize them, it's hard to change them. So
yes, it's an overwhelming, daunting process. Yes.
So, okay,
Yes.
I love that. Now, coaching and therapy, what's the difference?
Yes, so absolutely. So therapy and coaching are both fantastic. And like with both, you're going to meet people in both industries who are maybe don't have people's best intentions, or who just, not best intentions, but maybe wouldn't be able to serve you to the best of their abilities, right? So we have people in both industries. So therapy, it is college-based. They do have useful tools, and a lot of them have experience some stuff, but they're not allowed to share. But with coaching, since it's unregulated, you're able to have a little bit more of that human aspect. Like, you're allowed to share, like, yes, I've been there before. I know exactly how you're feeling. You're able to help them identify emotions a little bit. So there's definitely like a difference in how we are able to coach, because we are unregulated versus regulated, and we don't have we don't have like a sort of like a board like watching over us. So the way we are able to teach is a little bit different, but both can be used for benefits.
So they're both beneficial.
Oh yeah,
I think it's just a different.
It's just a difference in what your preference is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Are you ready to have a white and bright smile? Then it's time to order Qattawai Wowi. Go to QattawaiWowi.com to learn more about this system that works in 7 days to give you a bright smile. Use code podcast and get $20 off. Let's say one of our listeners is listening right now, and they are just intrigued with this idea of being able to call somebody that has been through what they've been through and could actually, just give them some good advice or point of views, right?
Yeah.
So how like, when should they consider calling you? Like, when is it? I mean, like, some people are like, oh, I'm not ready for that. I don't know if I need a mindset coach. Like, what would you say?
Yeah, you know what? Change is very scary. I am the first to admit that change still rattles me, and I understand that 100%. But if you're noticing the same patterns in your life that are maybe undesirable, or the ones that you don't want to see, like the same relationship pattern keeps happening, the same thing with the same patterns in your employment and your finances keep happening. If you're noticing a pattern in your life, like a hamster wheel, to the point that it almost becomes like an inside joke with your friends, you may want to consider somebody who can help you disrupt the pattern.
Okay.
So
that's what you come in and do.
Yeah, exactly.
You got that hamster wheel going. You see their hamster wheel, right? And you're like, oh no, I'm throwing a pen in. We're stopping this.
Yes.
Come on out. Yeah. Let's go outside.
Yes. It's the way that I coach, because having a sudden abrupt stop to a pattern can actually cause the body and the nervous system to go into fight or flight and shut down, because a sudden change like that in a life is really scary. And the body and the brain don't know what's happening. They don't know what's next, because our brain doesn't like change.
Right.
It likes to keep things predictable. And that's why we end up in these same patterns over and over again with relationships. I feel like
people are comfortable.
Yes.
They get comfortable, and they're like, oh, it's okay. It's fine. I'll just leave it like this.
Yes, exactly.
I already know what's going to happen. Yeah, he might be
Even if
abusive, or
toxic.
she might, be toxic.
Even if it's not
but
the best
it's comfortable. It's okay. You
Yes,
know what? I just know
exactly.
it's he's there or she's there, and it's fine. But it's really not.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's like
And
we want to change, but that change is so scary and overwhelming. So the way that I help break that process, or I help disrupt the pattern, it's a very gentle process, to the point that you won't necessarily feel it happening until your brain's like, okay, I'm ready. And then is when it starts to happen. So I make sure to address it from a very gentle, like, point perspective. Not that it's going to take, like, months or even years. It could only take like a few sessions or a few weeks. But it is a very, like, gentle and gradual process, so that way the body does not shut down and the nervous system doesn't go into, like, fight or flight mode.
Let's talk about that. Fight or flight, whatever.
Yes.
So let's talk about that, because I feel like since the pandemic, a lot more people are just
absolutely.
experiencing that.
Absolutely.
Can you explain to the listeners what that means and, how to get out of that mindset?
Yes. So there's 4 different types of fight or flight response. So there's fight, there's flight, there's freeze, and there's fawn. So fawn is like a lot of the people-pleasing tendencies. So it's like, in order for us to feel safe, we have to keep these people happy.
Okay.
Yeah, so like when I say it like that, people end up like, oh. I resonate with that. Yeah. Oh, heck. The freeze response is exactly how it sounds. You just essentially shut down, you lock in place. Your body just stops.
Done with
you. Yes. So you end up procrastinating a lot. You end up feeling just like extra lethargic. You find it difficult to just get things done. Because your body is just like stuck in that freeze. I don't want to move forward response.
And would you say that it could turn into actual like symptoms that your body's feeling, like illness or sickness? Because doesn't it translate? I mean, our bodies and our minds are connected.
Absolutely. Okay. So I am not a doctor. I'm only going to share my personal experience. But when my body was locked in fight or flight for so long, my fight or flight response is fawn and flee.
Okay.
So flight. I had symptoms of IBS, which was excruciatingly painful. I was in and out of the hospital. I could not eat certain foods. My sleeping pattern was completely disrupted. I had endless amounts of depression and anxiety to the point it was impossible to get out of bed. I couldn't get anything done. I was procrastinating. I was the queen of procrastinating. There was just so many things just happening within my body that caused physical illnesses, like true physical illnesses, because our bodies cannot hold on to the constant release of adrenaline that our nervous system has us in when we're stuck in fight or flight. So our bodies end up, those chemicals, that adrenaline ends up attacking, and the cortisol ends up attacking our own bodies. And over time is when we start to notice like these physical symptoms, maybe like extra headaches. Like if you're getting headaches pretty frequently, belly aches, if you're getting sick often, like you just seem to catch everything that's going on in your kid's school or in the office. Those are some of the signs that maybe your nervous system has been in that mode for just a little bit too long.
Okay. And so this is a sign, I mean, if you're feeling
constant chronic physical illnesses or chronic pain, you may have it linked to some sort of things going on within your brain. Yeah. Wow. Again, I'm not a doctor.
They say the mind is powerful. So.
The mind is incredibly powerful.
Yeah. So you want to make sure that you got it in control. And yeah, that's amazing.
Or at least like know or have the tools available to you to help you out during those high emotional times.
Okay.
Yeah, because we can't have control of ourselves 24/7. Like
no.
The brain has its own thing going on.
It sure does.
Yeah, we're human. We're gonna fluff up sometimes.
Now, of course, there might be some listeners right now saying, "Oh, whatever. That's not real. That doesn't work. Blah blah blah." So what do you say to those people that don't believe in a mindset coach? Like,
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. If you don't believe in mindset coaching and you are against the idea, then really it is going to be a waste of your money to come to me. It is going to totally be a waste of your money to come to me if you're not going to do like the tools that I give you, and if you're really just resistant against it. You don't want to waste your money like that. Yeah. But if you are a skeptic, because I was a skeptic. There's nobody more skeptical than me.
You were?
Oh, hardcore. I was a hardcore skeptic because I've been through all the therapy. I went through that, I forget the order of the acronym, but the EDMR, EMDR. Okay. I've done all of the things, done the Reiki healing, done all the things. None of it worked. And so if you're coming with a place of skepticism, but curiosity, like you're willing to do at least the tools that I give you, even if you don't believe in them, that's fine. The tools are going to work either way.
Mm-hmm.
So
if they're effective. But
yes, exactly. So eventually you're going to feel those results if you just use the tools. You don't have to believe in it. Like, I don't care if you believe in it or not. Yeah. Just do the tools.
Try it. Exactly. If it's something, if you do need a change in your life and you notice that you recognize it, recognizing it is the first really important part, then, maybe, reach out to Elise and then, try out a session, right? Don't you do free consultations? Like
I do free consultation. Yeah.
Free, like your first free, what do you call it? Like a meeting or?
Yeah. So it's just a consultation call. It's a call. Okay. It's almost like think of it as almost like a first date. Like you really want to get to, like, I want to get to know you.
Guys, calm down. Calm down.
Calm down. I have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
But no,
here,
like the mentality behind it. Right? Okay. The mentality behind it is very similar. It's like, I want to get to know you. You want to get to know me. We want to see if we click well. If we don't click well, it's not going to go anywhere. It
will make sense. Yeah.
It's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest. I was a skeptic. You know, when you told me what you were doing, I was like, okay. Because I met Elise actually because she needed help. I did consulting for her for social media, right? Mm-hmm. And then after one of our sessions, we, you know, pushed aside the social media stuff and we connected. Yes. And you had some really amazing things to share with me, and it really opened up my eyes. And I know, like, you know, yeah, so I really believe in it now. I am like 110% in with it. And I think that if you are out there and you're listening and this is resonating, that this is a sign. And, yes. You know, you might need that help. And Elise is amazing. So you could set up a, you know, free consultation with her. Of course. Yeah. And I'm not just saying it, like, I'm like straight up, like, that's why you're here on my show. Like, everybody I'm going to bring on this show is freaking amazing. And so I'm excited, you know, like for this to air and for everybody to actually like hear what you have to say. Are you ready to have a white and bright smile? Then it's time to order Qattawai Wowi. Go to QattawaiWowi.com to learn more about this system that works in 7 days to give you a bright smile. Use code podcast and get $20 off. 2 more things before we go. One is if they want to set up a consultation with you, free consultation, how can they do that? Do they call or email?
You know what? Text is the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay.
Because then I know I get back to it.
Okay.
So I usually get back to things pretty quickly, but send me a text, 951-233-4936. Okay. Or you can just hit up my social media page, Elise DeHart, which you're going to have the spelling for it. But yeah, just text is the best way to get a hold of me.
So Instagram, Facebook, text shoot a text.
The number one way.
And you can check out her social media too. She has a really great page with great information. And the last thing before we go, I was hoping that you could give everybody out there 3 tips that will change their mindset to help them. Whatever it is, but you tell us 3,
yes.
Whatever it is you want to tell everybody.
So I just want to say up front right now, everything that I teach is science-based. There's science behind the tools that I give, and you can look them up too. I highly encourage it. But number 1 tip, journal. I swear to the heavens by journaling.
Yeah. I don't like to write, but you made me do that a couple times. Like one time she made me sit and write for 30 minutes. You called it rage journaling.
Rage journaling.
I needed to let some stuff out.
Yes.
And literally, like, she just sat there and was like, go ahead in 30 minutes and timed me. And I kept going, am I done yet? I done yet? And you're like, but you know what? I felt relieved. Yeah. I felt relieved. I felt a little bit better. I felt like I was able to just let it go, you know, whatever I needed to let go for that day, whatever was bothering me. And,
yes.
And I even touched in the rage journaling, like I remember you saying, like, you don't have to write it out. Like, you don't have to be able to read it later. Matter of fact, you can just go and burn it. Yeah. But it's just like the fact that you're like writing it out and putting it out there, it gives you opportunity to release.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening. So my number 1 tip, journal. Swear by journaling 20 minutes a day. Tip number 2 is learning how to be comfortable with having emotions. And I know that sounds so crazy, but if you're the type of person who's used to repressing your emotions, especially like the big heavy ones, you're like, oh no, we don't talk about Bruno. Learning how to feel comfortable with your emotions allows those chemicals to be released.
Okay.
So if you have any questions about that, just shoot me a text. There's a lot of science that goes behind
that. Like men. Men.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. Going to throw you under the bus real quick.
Yes.
But you guys.
Men in today's Western society, their mental health has been so neglected and so stigmatized.
They're not supposed to cry.
It's
men
crazy.
aren't supposed to cry, right? So that's I think that's like a big one, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah, men. Yeah. It's totally okay to cry. In fact, it's so attractive when a guy can just like really get his emotions and understand his emotions and just feel them out. Like I will say that's just like the most attractive thing in a guy. Yeah.
You know, of course, like I love a manly man, but when he can sit and talk to me about how he feels, it's like, oh my gosh, you're perfect.
Yes. Amen. Yes.
And then what's number 3?
Number 3 is meditate.
Meditate.
That one, I know it sounds very fluff, but this one has been proven and backed by science so many times. If you don't believe me, Dr. Joe Dispenza, world-renowned neuroscientist, neuroscientist has proven over and over again that meditation does help.
And, there's just like the stigma about meditation, and it's so sad because I did start recently meditating regularly about 6 months ago just because, just life's always changing. There's ups and downs. So it was something that I needed, like some, peace time.
Yes.
And so I started reading books about meditation, started meditating. But I did realize there's a stigma. And as soon as you say that you meditate, it's immediately like you're a hippie, yogi.
Yeah.
I do yoga, whatever. Hey, I'm flexible, whatever. I don't care. But
Got that
and
down.
I feel good and have great skin, but legit.
No, so the science behind meditation is that it disrupts the active neural pathways, and it disrupts it actually helps activate different brain waves. That's the science behind meditation. It helps activate different brain waves.
So if somebody is stressed out and feeling sad after meditating, they might have more like clarity.
Right? I would say
clarity,
if somebody's dealing with really heavy emotions, first things first, do the 20 minutes journaling, get that stuff burned out of your system. And then once that is done, go ahead and feel out those emotions, let the remainders of those chemicals burn themselves off. So that's tip number 2, getting comfortable with emotions.
Okay.
And then go to tip number 3, which is meditating.
Okay.
You can switch them up as much as you need to, whatever feels good, but I swear by those 3 tips, those are the things that I give each client, and they have noticed tremendous results.
Yes. And I read this
within a short period of time too.
Right. Oh no, I feel like it works like immediately. If you just take 5 minutes, and if you're don't know how to do that, you can go to YouTube. There's these guided meditations, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. To get started, and literally it's just somebody guiding you, telling you what to do. So it's a great way to start, and then eventually, then you can upgrade from that point. Maybe go to actual meditation. What do they call it? Retreat or something like that. But one of the things I do here with my team, we've had days where oh my gosh, we just all were and so I bring everybody into our lounge area, and we all just sit down, and I'll put the guided meditation on for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Everybody always feels so good afterwards. Maybe we should just do that weekly.
5 minutes, and don't get me wrong, I have a problem with my squirrel brain too. For me, sitting still for 5 minutes, when I have a struggle sitting for 5 minutes, that's when I know I need to sit for 5 minutes.
Okay. You call it the squirrel?
I call it squirrel brain because
I've heard monkey mind.
Oh yeah,
it's those thoughts that don't leave you alone. They wake up in the middle of the night.
Where's my passport? Do I have my birth certificate? I need to post on social media. Did I text back that client? I need to send her that email. We're constantly I have to make the kids lunch. It's just these thoughts that keep us up at night. And that's when I know, okay, if my brain cannot settle for 5 minutes, I know I need to settle for 5 minutes.
You need to settle for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So journal,
feel
the emotions, meditate. So those are your 3 tips. Those are so amazing. You're such an amazing person. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. What's up, Inland Empire? So she's an Inland Empire resident from Redlands. So if you guys are looking for a mindset coach, you've got Elise here, and she's ready to help you. So you can give her a call or find her on social media for a free consultation. You want to go ahead and give them your phone number one more time?
Absolutely. My number is 951-233-4936.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Elise, for being on the show. You're welcome. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for next week. We always are going to have an amazing show with lots of great information, events, local news, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
This is Pablo with 1-800-BIZ-BROKER, and yesterday we had a question from Rachel. Rachel owns a hair salon, and she's considering selling a hair salon. And she wanted to get a little help on the value of the salon. Well, let me tell you, Rachel, salons are pretty common business to sell in the marketplace, and they sell for about 1.5 to 2 times your earnings for the year. So if you make $100,000 a year, your salon is worth between $150,000 and $200,000. Now, before you consider planning the sale of your business, make sure that you have your books in order. Talk to your CPA. Make sure that your QuickBooks are ready to rock and roll. That way, when you find a buyer for you or a potential buyer, they know they're going to answer all these questions, and we have the answers right away. So there you go, Rachel. If you have any more questions, go ahead and shoot me an email or another call, and we'll talk soon, okay? And if anybody out there needs help with their business, give me a call at 1-800-BIZ-BROKER. Have a great day.